Happy Wednesday, everybody. I had planned to use this video time as a plug for the upcoming retreat this Saturday, October 25th from 9 to noon in Geneva Hall with Reverend Ann Ross and Elizabeth Terry. I'm still going to use this as a plug for that. This whole video is about it, but I want to share a little bit of my personal spiritual life to explain why I think this time is so important for you to take advantage of. I recently started a practice of centering prayer, which I find very challenging, but also very helpful. And I started it because I have noticed that I am just generally anxious as a rule, more than as the exception these days. I'm pretty sure that anxiety comes from my concerns about everything going on in the world, politically, issues with violence, war in places in the world. There's a lot that we are collectively carrying as a society. And I'm feeling it in my body. I'm noticing it in that I have a hard time focusing on any one thing for any length of time. I jump around from piece to piece and I'm forgetting things. So in an effort to kind of push the brakes and interrupt the cycles that keep me in anxiety, I've started this centering prayer practice. And I've noticed that it helps me to be more focused, to be more present, to find joy in life. But I'm also noticing that I resist it like the dickens. I will do everything to find an excuse to not take my time to do my centering prayer. While I'm in the midst of it, I'm distracted by all these different thoughts, and I want to focus on those things instead of taking that time to clear my mind and be present to God. And so I want to offer to you that everything in our culture is calling you away from this time of retreat and telling you it's either not the priority, it's not important, you could do it if you have time or if circumstances allow. All of those voices are screaming for our attention. They're screaming for my attention. But God at least is calling me, and I believe is calling all of us, to interrupt those cycles, to take the time for spiritual focus and renewal, because it's not only is it part of our tools for being able to be the resistance and to speak truth to power and speak love into the world, it's just part of what being alive is about. It's part of what makes us whole. So I encourage you to see the upcoming retreat not as something that is, available to you, not as something that is like an extra. Yeah, caring for your spiritual life, it's not an extra. It is the central thing about what it means to be alive and to be a whole person. So I'm going to actually leave you with a little blurb from the book Rest is Resistance, which I mentioned many, many months ago in a sermon, and which I've continued to return to. It's by Tricia Hersey, and she is the founder of the NAP ministry, but she has some really wonderful insights about Sabbath and rest and how rest is resistance. She says, when you are exhausted, you lack clarity and the ability to see deeply. Your intuition and imagination are stifled by a culture of overworking and disconnection. You must be open to go deep into the cracks, to examine and to understand. She says, this is healing work. This is justice work. when we are aligned against the ideas of the oppressive culture, we can understand that we didn't arrive on earth to be a tool for a capitalist system. It is not our divine purpose. You were not just born to center your entire existence on work and labor. You were born to heal, to grow, to be of service for yourself and your community, to practice, to experiment, to create, to have space, to dream, and to connect. That last sentence, all of those things, is my deep hope for you and for everybody who attends Saturday's retreat. And, if you can't attend Saturday's retreat, for you in your life, whatever that looks like, carve space out for yourself, for your spirit, and for your connection with God. See you soon.